This is Rockin' with Jam Man. It's with Nick Sabia. So how you doing, man?
I'm good. Just chilling in the apartment. About to hit the studio after this. I'm stoked to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for being on my show.
Yeah.
So how's life treating you?
Life's been good. The last few weeks have been pretty hectic. Before that I had the vacation, which was nice, get out in the jungle. And just getting back from that, I've just been pretty nonstop, being pretty creative, and half the time I'm in the studio working with like clients and different artists, and then the other half the time I'm just pretty much waking up every day and going to my studio and writing, working on things I've written, writing new stuff, all that thing. So I'm pretty much just drowning in music the past couple weeks and can't complain about that. I love music, so it's been good.
So for those who are watching and unfamiliar with you, can you tell me all about yourself?
Yeah, so I basically started playing music when I was about 16. And before that, I was an athlete mainly, and just more of a sports guy. And I just picked up piano when I was 16, started diving in, and that led me to write songs and develop my singing voice as well. Then I started playing guitar and ukulele, and I started producing because that's kind of the route you got to record yourself somehow. So then I started having just a little home studio set up to just start tracking ideas and recording, learning production, Ableton and things, and yeah, and so I've been probably over 10. I don't even know the exact date, but I think 10 or 11 years now. I've been pretty much just kind of dedicated my life to the act of songwriting, basically, like more than anything. I mean, I love piano, I love learning guitar, all these things, but really I think through all those instruments, just using all those for the medium of songwriting, really. And just kind of focusing on my journey, I guess, and just my observations of myself and the world and things, and just trying to basically just write honest music. I guess that feels real to me. And otherwise, I go hiking in waterfalls a lot, and I just hang out with friends and play pool. And I still just go to parks, throw the football. You know what I mean? Just like normal stuff. Try not to lose all that as I've gotten older. So yeah, I just at the end of the day, I just like to have fun, and music is the most fun thing I can do for me at least. So I'm just blessed to be able to like wake up every day and get to work on music, whether it's mine or someone else's. It's just it's just the life. It's like all I want really. So yeah.
And the new single is Chattanooga.
Chattanooga came out recently. The next single I'm doing is called Back East, and that one is in April. April 24th. And that's one of my recent favorite songs. I wrote that on New Year's Eve actually, while I was shopping everywhere because it was so busy. And I was just over it, and I just wanted to go back to the woods and just get out of here and sit by a river. And so I went home from grocery shopping. I was like, "Hey, babe," to my girlfriend. I was like, "Babe, can you like handle the groceries? I got an idea. I gotta play guitar and I gotta write it." And so, um, 30, 40 minutes later, had the song, and I recorded a little demo, and the team actually really liked the demo and wanted me to just mix it and get it out. So instead of producing it more and doing more stuff, we kind of just went with the raw take that I first did like the day after I wrote it. And I'm glad we did in hindsight because it definitely feels more raw that way, and I think captures like the truth potentially better. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's called Back East, and it comes out in a little over a month and a half or something. Yeah,
Now, does this track have a personal meaning to you?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I try to have all my songs have some personal messages, but this one specifically kind of hits home more just because I'm from Florida, but my dad moved to Georgia when I was like 4, so I was going to Georgia my whole life, and I love nature, but it wasn't until I moved to California that I realized like how much I love nature because there's a lack of nature here where I live. So I realized how much I needed it and how much I just want to like get away from society and stuff. And so That's it's kind of a thing that I write about a lot is like country versus city, and like it's a choice that you have to make for money and things like that. And this song basically is just really just a personal like me kind of letting the world know that really I would love to go back east technically and things, but at the end of the day, like I'm in this town and I'm still here and I'm still working for what I'm working for and I'm not actually leaving. It's just more of a fantasy and a dream to turn around and head back east and go see a country sunset and be by a river and it's, so it's really like me dreaming and fantasizing like from the city about just wanting to be back in that setting and just kind of away from things. But the fact that I'm not going to and I can't necessarily because of the way life goes. And so it's just kind of like a personal, um, yeah, just a personal message. Just kind of, in a way, I'm sort of complaining, I guess, like the beginning of complaining about traffic and credit cards and just like that stuff. So it kind of is just me venting a little bit, honestly, and then just being like, I wish I could go back east and just turn around and be like, get away from all this. And I don't know. I think it's relate. I think some people out there can relate to that and just the desire to kind of just turn around and like leave it all. I guess that feeling. Yeah. So it definitely has a personal message. Yeah.
Um, is there going to be a new album coming out, or is it just going to be singles?
I'm gonna do singles right now. I did an album like almost 2 years ago. I did an album, 11 songs, and I love it. I really love it. But I do think that in today's the scope of the industry now, I think it's better to just be putting out singles, and I think the singles kind of coincide with each other though. They have cohesivity, like they're cohesive, but they still are separate, and they're not. Right now, I'm not going to do an album. I'm just going to be doing singles, but I do plan on recording while the singles are coming out. I do plan on recording a more serious, like fully produced album, basically. So I am down to do an album, but this one's just single, and then there'll be a few more singles afterwards that follow suit that are kind of in the same vein and the same sounding genre and things like that. Yeah.
So explain to me why you hate Facebook so much.
What was that?
So explain to me why you hate Facebook so much.
Why I hate Facebook so much?
Yes.
Well, why do you ask?
Now, it's because I'm an interview, man. Explain me why you hate Facebook.
I mean, I don't really use Facebook much. I used to use it when I was growing up, and to me, Facebook became like a place where a lot of it's like for family to keep up with you, and family, friends, and things like that. And I still use it every now and then. I still keep up with some people on there and things, but yeah, for the most part, I just like am on Instagram and TikTok, and I don't really post that much on Facebook. I don't know. It's just kind of like it's kind of like how MySpace feel. Like for me, growing up, MySpace was a big deal, and then people like moved past that to Facebook, and then MySpace became kind of like older news, And I think that kind of happened with Facebook years ago, where like Instagram and TikTok took over, and I just kind of stopped. I spent more time on those apps because I just enjoy them more. I think like there's better like I'm more interested in the things that it shows me on Instagram and TikTok versus Facebook for sure. You know?
Like, bro, your page is kind of blank, bro. I mean, what I'm saying is you're missing out on all the Gen X people who stay true to Zuckerberg.
That's true. No, it is true. I'm supposed to do the Facebook. I'm supposed to Twitter. You gotta have the X. You gotta
X,
have
yeah, that's
the
good.
the Instagram threads or whatever. Like I jumped on the threads train for a second. Yeah, it is good. I know I am missing out on that community because that's the thing. It's like with music, you're really trying to find like you're going fishing for people, like you're trying to catch fish and trying to catch people to like listen and Facebook has a different pond of fish than Instagram and TikTok and all of these have like different ponds of fish, if you will. And you got to go fishing in each one realistically, and you got to try to connect with as many people as possible. So you are definitely right, technically, yeah.
So, do you have some headlining shows to promote the new singles or possibly new album?
Um, I don't have headlining shows, but I have certain. I'm playing in Huntington Beach in a couple weeks, and I'll be playing some originals there. I'm playing House of Blues tomorrow. I'll I don't have a literal specific headlining show, but I'm mainly doing a lot of promotions with. I'm going to be doing promotions with TikTok, Instagram, I guess Facebook now that you're on to me. I guess due to Facebook. But yeah, I'm playing shows and I'm getting out there. But a lot of my time is still spent in the studio and still working with clients half the time. But I do plan on booking more like artist shows in the next month or two. To as these singles come out, I'm gonna need to start playing more artistic shows because a lot of the shows I play are more entertainment based. Um, so uh I do need to do more like specifically focused on me as an artist and things. But yeah, I'm playing with a couple artists here and there and I'm gonna get it out there as best I can for sure. But I don't have any like big headlining thing now.
What is life like for you on the road?
What was that?
What was life like for you on the road?
On the road? Is that what you said?
Yeah, what's life like for you on the road?
I mean, I haven't done a big tour because I purposely tried not to growing up because I was mainly working in the studio, not as an artist for many years. And I was mainly just working with other artists. And so I've gone on a couple tours with other bands before, like as a keyboard player, as a background singer, and things like that. But I haven't done a personal tour like that. And really, I don't mind the road. At the end of the day, I really like traveling. I feel comfortable in my own skin, I guess, kind of everywhere I am. And so I don't really get uncomfortable in like a tight squeeze in a van, for instance, or if you got to like stop and eat Waffle House instead of like some nice steak. Like I don't care, like I can handle all of it. But a lot of the time, I just really try to focus a lot of my energy more on the creative side of things and the working in the I'm really just a big studio guy. I love the studio. Sometimes it's hard to get me out of the studio. I just really that's kind of where I um, feel the most at home, I think. And so I've done a couple tour things, but I haven't really done some big like where you pack the van, you go for 2 months on the road and you commit. I have friends that do all that and I respect the hell out of it. But I have yet to have to put that level of of work in for months at a time on tour and things like that. But I think I would enjoy it. I really love traveling. I mean, I thrive on traveling and new experiences, and I love writing music about um, new places I go and new event. A lot of my music's inspired from nature. So like if I'm out traveling, I get to go see a new national park or a new thing or whatever. I'll definitely get all inspired and write some music. So I definitely I look forward to touring, but I really love the studio, man. I really don't see myself liking touring more than hanging out in the studio, just jamming and making music.
What's the best venue you've ever played?
The best venue, if you count, I don't know if you count like a festival, but I played Tortuga Festival in Florida one time with the Whelan Brothers, who's a band I play with sometimes. And that was like a giant, I mean, it's the biggest festival in Florida every year, so it was like a massive festival, if you want to call it a venue. As far as a specific venue, I really like this one in San Diego called the Music Box. And it's just cool. I played that a couple times. Um, but yeah, I really don't. Venues are cool, but it's really the audience that makes it for me. It's like you can be in a sick venue, but if the audience is just kind of like dry that night or whatever, like it's just not as enjoyable. You could be in a room with 7 people and they can be really feeling it, and you can kind of just have a better time, like personally, than if you're in front of hundreds of people and it's so the venue doesn't matter too much to me, but I guess if I had to pick, it would be Tortuga Festival was the coolest thing for sure. And then the second would be the Lunchbox in oh yeah, it's called the Lunchbox, I think, not the Music Box in San Diego. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love San Diego also. It's just a great city.
What's the worst?
The worst city?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. Um, hey, I'm not a big city fan, I really don't like most cities.
Talk
But
about
I
it.
would say I definitely don't like LA. Like I really am not a fan of LA as a city. Driving around there, it's especially the last few years, it's just gotten worse and worse. Like I remember when I first moved out here and I went to LA, I thought it was gonna be like land of dreams and the stars, and you're all stoked. And I got there and I was like, this is LA. Like this is the big deal that everyone makes such a fuss about. Like this is not that glamorous, not that, it's a little more grimy than I expected. And but I think most cities tend to be like that. I will say I love Boston. Is a good city, but yeah, most of my cities I would say I don't like most cities. Yeah, but LA's got to be up there as one of my like I only go there for work or for a studio session or writing session. Otherwise, I really try to stay down here and not go up to LA. So I guess I have to pick LA honestly, and that's part of the Back East song actually. Is I say like, my head's above the water, but I want to drown, and I'm basically talking about like being in the city and like how I'm doing okay for myself and so I'm not failing in the city necessarily, but part of me just wants to not wants to fail, but part of me wants to just be done with the
LA.
city, and just kind of get out stuff. Yeah, I could be done with LA, be done with all. But you also kind of have to be here to be around the music more and to have more opportunities, get to work with talented people, and so it's a trade off.
I mean, LA is pretty bad if you have to pay like $6 for a gallon. So.
Oh yeah, no, it was up to $7 a gallon. $7 a
Mhm.
gallon? I know right here, even down here by me, it's like 4.70. That's almost $5 still down here in Orange County. So, and it's a little more expensive in LA. Yeah, and then people's the rent is it's just what you pay. You end up paying so much money up there, and it's like I don't know. It's like it's just not worth what you get for the money you pay.
Homeless people do you see there in the city? Like,
A lot. Yeah.
how many minutes does it take when you walk inside or like drive inside of LA? Is it like, is there a homeless person right when you like right by the welcome to LA sign, or is it just
Well, I don't even I don't know if there is a welcome to I guess there is a sign. But yeah, it's kind of just like you pull off, the freeway and there's the second you get off the freeway, there's gonna be tons of tents right there on overpasses and there's if you it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem in a lot of the cities in America right now. It's a tough, really difficult issue to solve too. Um, I don't think anyone has like one tight solution for it, but there's definitely yeah, there's a lot of people, homeless people, and also just you kind of just see things on the ground that you wouldn't want to see walking around, just not great. So it's just city life, man, and that's why I wrote the song. At the end of the day, it was just because like I'm not a big city fan, I'm not a big fan of all the. I'm kind of like a country-hearted person. Like I have a heart for the country and nature and peace and stillness, and I kind of live in a mecca for the opposite of all that, and so it makes for interesting songs or writing.
do you have a ritual before you go on stage?
Ritual before getting on the stage. Um, Not really. I mean, I definitely do lip rolls and I breathe. It's really breathe. It's all about being calm, and it is hard. It is difficult to be relaxed on stage. So I would say the main thing is just calming myself down, which usually is just a couple deep breaths, and then I do, and that's like a warm up, right? So it gets your voice going, and also by doing lip rolls, you have to be using your diaphragm in order to do lip rolls, so it kind of like engages the right part of your vocals when you're doing them. So I do that just to get my voice a little more like in the pocket. But otherwise, I don't do much. Just drink water. I try not to drink anything other than water beforehand, and I don't really do any like hot teas and all that fancy stuff. I really think if you're using proper technique and you're drinking water and you're breathing and you're relaxed, like it's gonna be fine. And so that's all I really focus on.
Um, do you have you ever had a crazy interaction with a fan before?
What was that? Sorry, you broke up.
Uh, ever have a crazy interaction with a fan before?
Crazy interaction with a fan. Hmm. No, I mean there was a couple times I got stopped one time in a Trader Joe's when I was like shopping because she had seen me at like a local
Like,
lighthouse cafe up in Long Beach. I jammed it and I jammed with a band up there and we kind of rocked the house. It was honestly one of my best shows I ever played probably. And yeah, like 4 days later this lady came up to me and stopped me and took pictures with me and kind of like was freaking out about, and I'm like, at the time back then I lived in my mom's house, so I'm like in my head I'm like this lady's freaking out like meeting me and taking pictures and thinks I'm like, whatever. And in my head I'm like, I'm living with my mom, I'm not really, like and this was years ago, but it was a funny time. But I would say most of the time like fans are just really nice and loving and just complimentary and give hugs, and nothing really too crazy's ever happened. Um, but she just like, yeah, she definitely stopped me for a few minutes and was just really like over. I wasn't expecting her to be like as excited, I guess, as she was. So it was just like a weird moment for me. But nothing crazy though. No, I'm not at that stage where I got a bunch of like crazy fans just being weird. Yeah, and I hope I don't ever get there. That sounds like hard to
yeah.
deal with, you know? Yeah.
So you were like, oh my God, women actually like me? Women find me attractive?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, someone out there likes me? That's so cool." Like that's all it really was.
The secret really is to live with your mom, guys. Trust me on that.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
What is your favorite memory from playing the show?
My favorite memory from
Memory
playing a
from,
show?
yeah, that's the question.
Um, man, yeah, that's a good question. Give me a sec, just think about that. I would say there are a few good ones. I would say honestly, on a personal level, I actually played I have some fans that wanted me at their Thanksgiving, like to play in their house for Thanksgiving dinner for only like eight of them. Like it was a small, intimate, like private thing. And I don't know, it was really, really cool for me. It was one of my favorite like experiences gigging and things. It was just like to be that personable with a family and that tight knit, and then like give them the music and things, and then they invited me to sit down at Thanksgiving dinner with them. And we like sat and prayed over the food, and we hung out, and we got to know each other more. And I ended up playing at their house probably eight more times after that, but that was the first time, and really that was the first like private experience I had ever done where I'm playing privately for people at their residence. And I don't know. I mean, I know there's, you could say like Tortuga Festival and all these different things, but at the end of the day, that was my favorite like personal experience, was just because it was really cool to like all of a sudden just join like someone's family on Thanksgiving and be welcomed with a lot of love and hospitality, and it was just like it was a beautiful moment for me. So I would have to say that.
What is your worst?
My worst. Hmm. I actually don't know. I haven't had like a big embarrassing moment yet on stage. Like I haven't been up there and like peed my pants yet or anything. You know what I mean? I
I
don't
haven't
know.
shit myself yet.
I mean, I would say like I can't remember honestly, but I guess some voice cracks. Like I'm sure I've had some voice cracks that were just pretty rough, and I was probably like embarrassed by them. But yeah, I don't have too many like horror stories from gigging. Most of the time, I just try to be like as professional as I can and show up and set up, and just try to do a good job every time. And so honestly, most of the times there's not that much that really goes wrong. And yeah, I actually don't. Luckily, I don't actually know. Like I don't really have much of a bad story, which is good, right? I mean, that's what you want.
So, when you get a voice crack, do you just stop and like everyone stares at you? So you're like, I said it.
Yeah, no, that's the hard dude, that's the challenge. The challenge is like knowing you're gonna fail at some point when because you're a human being, yeah. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's like you're gonna fail every set. You're gonna miss notes. You're gonna have a voice crack. You're gonna hit the wrong chord, like whatever it is. And really, the pros just recover well, And so I definitely don't stop if my voice cracks or anything like that. I honestly, the best thing to do is act like it didn't happen. sometimes if it's really obvious, I'll keep singing and I'll giggle while I'm singing. Like I'll laugh a little bit into the microphone while I'm singing, just so they know that like, yeah, he knows his voice just cracked. Like he's letting us know that it's funny. You know what I mean? And so it's really just about the recovery, like just try to recover well from mistakes as best you can because you're gonna mess up. Like you're gonna have a voice crack. Yeah.
So, what do you do on your downtime for fun?
Downtime for fun. I play Rocket League. I don't know if you know Rocket League.
You
You know Rocket League?
like car soccer? Like car soccer?
Yeah, the car soccer. I've been playing that for like literally 7 years or something. So,
How many goals?
um, if I'm just hanging out, I got nothing much going on, or I'm taking a break or whatever, like a lot of the times I'm just gonna just hang out and play some Rocket League because I feel like it's a really good switch for my brain too. Because like 90% of the time, my brain is acting like purely creatively and thinking all creative. And so I love Rocket League because it's very like math based. It's like physics and like geometry and angles, and it's a way for me to like turn my brain off, but still feel like I'm like doing something because it is a challenge. Rocket League is like one of the hardest games ever made, so it's like it definitely is still good for your brain. I feel like too, so it's a way for me to like turn my brain off, but then also still like exercise it a little. And then otherwise, I just like hike to waterfalls and hang out with friends and play. I love pool. I've been playing a lot of pool recently. Um, getting the jacuzzi, stuff like that. I'm more just I like to hang. I like people. Like I like to hang out with people and just like have friendships, have relationships, and just do cool stuff. Whether it's like hiking, sometimes hammocking. I love hammocking. I don't even know if that's like a word, but hammocking, like
Like
the
you like
verb of going.
out in the wild?
Yeah, like setting up a hammock and just chilling and like relaxing out in nature. Writing a little bit or taking a nap. you know? It's good to have space, when you're creating a lot and when you're trying to like be consistently inspired, like it's equally as important to just like once the well is drained to go like give yourself space to let the spring water like fill up again at the bottom of the well and then you go back to work and you got plenty in the well to go, be inspired with. So yeah, I do just kind of those things for fun. I mean, I'll have fun another way like movies. Um I don't know. Yeah, like just good conversation. Half the time, I'm just like talking with friends. I also love vinyl. I'm really, really loving vinyl the past like 2 years. So I got a vinyl collection going on, and like just jam vinyls and listen to like stuff from the '50s. That's like it's just crazy to me that you can just listen to like this physical thing, and you put it in there, and all of a sudden, like the same thing that happened in 1954 at some jazz festival is like happening in my living room. So I don't know. I have fun with all those.
What is next for you actually?
What's next? Well, what's immediately next today is I gotta go record the Wheeling Brothers and do some vocal production at the studio. But as far as like what's next in life, definitely these songs. I mean, Back East is April 24th, and then I'm gonna have another song coming out about a month after that, and basically we're gonna just be trickling out a song every 5, 6 weeks about and in the meantime, it's mainly just doing writing sessions, getting the songs mixed and mastered, like finalized more. Taking some of the demos to certain producers, have the production get lifted, and then uh, really like I wake up every day and I just think about like writing music. So at the end of the day, like tomorrow, not much ever changes. Like I really do wake up every day and I just go like, all right, like music time. Like what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna make? It's like it's the fun unknown of it all, the journey and the adventure of like songwriting that I'm addicted to. And so it's just like it's like a sandbox to play in. So it's really like me having fun and me playing. And so really I don't see like too much of a change in the future just because I really like consistently attacking music the way that I do. But yeah, I mean I'm definitely just gonna be doing shows and posting, more and collaborating more with some artists. I just collaborated with an artist in Costa Rica actually when I was there. Um, so just trying to get around more, at the end of the day, just get out there, expose myself more to the world and keep writing music.
How do my followers follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on TikTok. on Instagram. I do have a link tree, just linktree.com/. What was that?
Facebook, you better mention that Facebook, brother. You gotta
You
start posting.
you can follow. Yeah, I got it. You'll get on me if I don't. I gotta mention Facebook. It's the big. So yeah,
But
you can follow me on Facebook. I got a Facebook page. I have Instagram, TikTok. TikTok would be the one I'm probably most active on. But Instagram, I'm pretty active on there as well. And I'm going to be more active on Facebook after this interview. And yeah, you can follow me on there. And then I also have a website. You could sign up for like my email list and things, and just kind of get like updated on when songs come out, or merchandise or whatever it is. But yeah, just Nick Sabia. My name is just everywhere in terms of Instagram, TikTok. It's all just Nick Sabia. So yeah, that's how you find me.
so about TikTok, are you nervous for it? Because TikTok, like I think it was the House of Representatives or Congress just voted it for it to be deleted. Are you nervous about that? Well, it still has to go through the Senate. I mean, there's still a chance of it surviving, but are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not nervous per se. It's just more. It would be a shame, it would really just be kind of lame to me, if that happened. I don't think it's gonna pass just because of like checks and balances and the fact that it has
Yeah,
to go.
that's
And
true.
there's been a lot of push. There's been a ton of pushback too. Like everyone's mad. Like no one's happy about this really. And at the end of the day, TikTok allows like 7 or 8 million Americans to run their own business and to have their own thing going on. So they're kind of like ruining people's lives and businesses a little if they do pass it. So I don't think it's gonna get passed, honestly, but I wouldn't say I'm afraid it is, but if it does, like I'll adapt and I'll do what I can and things. But TikTok's not like the end all be all for
Yeah,
music and for connections and things. So if it goes away, it's not gonna like ruin my life or anything. If anything, it might make your mental health better if it goes away at the end of the day, because obviously it's not great to be addicted to TikTok like we all are pretty much. So I don't think it's gonna go away, but if it does, I'll adapt and I'll get on the next big platform thing, and I'll just keep posting my stuff there. And at the end of the day, it's just all about trying to get listeners to hear your stuff and to connect with it and try to make a little difference in their life or feel understood or something. I don't know. Just that way there's a symbiosis to the music and it's not just being made and being put on a hard drive like it is for so many people and was for me for so many years. So it's really just like getting out there and trying to get to people. So if it's not on TikTok, I'll do it elsewhere. But I don't think it's honestly, I don't think it's going anywhere.
I mean,
I
like,
don't, I don't see it happen.
yeah, I think by Senate it's probably gonna try. I don't think it's. Do you have
Yeah,
any?
it feels like too big. It feels like it's integrated too much into our like society to
Mhm.
just yank it away. It just seems like a weird move, and it's like kind of against free speech in a way because it is one of the only platforms right now that is pretty good about free speech and pretty good about just sharing whatever you want and things. So it would be lame. It would be a shame. It would be kind of like against the First Amendment, in my opinion. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a writer. Yeah.
Do you have any good merch?
Merch? No, no, that's something I definitely have not
You
been good
right?
about. Mainly because I just don't. I don't. It's weird to think of like what your name like looks like on a thing or like low. I'm not great at the visual side of things. I'm more of the audio guy, and so. But I have a team now, and we're getting it. It's definitely coming. I'll have merch before the next song, 100%. Um, before the next song comes out, but I don't have merch right now, unfortunately. So,
Um, Fun question time. You're on death row and it's time for a final meal. What is on the menu?
ooh, okay, bacon mac and cheese.
Bacon,
Okay,
mac and cheese.
I'm
That's
not gonna, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna not have bacon mac and cheese on my last day. If I can get a Capital Grill steak, with a little peppercorn encrusted and some Cavalier cream on there, like I'll take it. But at the end of the day, nothing's gonna stoke me out more than just straight up bacon mac and cheese, dude. It's just so good.
Well, you can get anything you want. So if you're gonna get a steak, are you just gonna get like a filet mignon, or if you could get anything, you could probably get like wagyu if you were really
Oh
inclined.
yeah, I would go A5 Wagyu. You gotta, but I don't want a normal steak. I want you to do something to it,
Put
like
bone on it,
peppercorn encrusted. I want something fancy going on if I'm gonna get a steak.
like a salt-based steak. Like, haven't you seen that 24 karat edible gold steak?
Oh yeah, that's gross. Yeah,
You wouldn't
nah,
eat
I'm
that?
good on all that. Yeah, I'm not gonna eat that. No, that's gross.
If you could have any
But
super,
yeah, man, thank you.
oh,
No, what were you saying?
if you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Any superpower? Time control
Yeah, that's a
for
good.
sure. I'm a big time. I write about time. I'm kind of obsessed with time, and it sounds it sounds like a headache to have time control power. It sounds like a lot to manage and deal with, but it also sounds just cool. I'd love to just go back in time and see how things played out in real life, like actually be there in person, check it out, or pause time, or I don't know, just time in general is fascinating to me. So that would be really cool if I had to pick one. Time for sure.
You would have to be careful with time travel though. Like, going back in the past, if you like just stayed in your normal clothes, they would think you were like a demon or something. So you would have to be a little careful.
Yeah, you can't interact with anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's like classic movies, right? That's classic Back to the
right.
Future and all that. Yeah.
So, one more, like two more questions, and then we go.
Okay.
Let's say you can choose any song ever written by any band, and you can change that song to where you're the one who wrote it and it's your song. What song would it be and why?
Wow, there's so many good songs. Probably a Bob Dylan song, just because I respect him and his lyrics are so potent, and it seemed like he was tapped into such a magical like place, especially when he was younger. So I'd have to pick a Bob Dylan song. I'd probably pick "It's Alright, Mom, I'm Only Bleeding," which is my favorite lyrics of all time. I think it's one of the best just messages and things ever written. So I'd have to pick "It's Alright, Mom, I'm Only Bleeding," Bob Dylan.
All right, thank you so much for being on my show. It's been a pleasure, and I hope the next time we talk at the backstage at one of your shows. Thank you again, brother. Have a good one.
Of course, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.